we're getting ready to make what the mountain men and the Native Americans call jerked venison. Well, down south, we just call it deer jerky. Now, this is what I saved just to do this with. This is when I cooked a Boston butt the other day. I saved this juice out of it, which this is basically Dale's and Italian seasoning, a little bit of beef juice. So I've got my meat. When I processed a while ago, I went ahead and cut it up into different size pieces. Some of it is a little thick, so it'll be more cooked, but most of it about like this, okay? Actually, those two pieces I just pulled out has got to come out. That is there's one more piece, I thought. That is some of my sweet loin. But anyway, you see that most of it is just strips and pieces, and I've got a bag full of it. So, what I'm gonna do, y'all know I like to say what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna just pour this right on off in there with it, okay? We're gonna zip this up now, and I'm gonna let this soak for a little bit. Now, the mountain man probably didn't do it just this way, and that bag is leaking a little bit, which is all right. We're gonna let that all soak through there and drain out. I'm gonna let it, well, we'll just keep it in there for now. This has got to go in my refrigerator. But once this gets soaked for a little while, we're gonna let the smokehouse get tuned up. You can see we have got smoke rolling out the door. We're gonna let it smoke up in there good. And so what I'm gonna basically do is on one side over there, I'll show you when it gets where I can get in there. There's a rack that I built down one side, and I have got some wire. It's like rabbit wire. It's that 1/2 inch, and I have done burned the galvanized stuff all off of it, so it's okay. So the smoke will come in here, the heat, and y'all have seen my setup before. This is an actually wood burning heater, build a fire in it. Pipe comes across that, keeps it from being too hot in there and just burning it. And I'm gonna do a couple of things. We're gonna smoke some hides, but now I'm probably not gonna smoke the hides in this video because it'll take most of the day for this jerky to cook, and it's gonna cook it a little hotter. So what I'll do is I'll keep a little hotter fire. Now I have saved some of this old rotten like punky wood. That's what I'll smoke the hides out of. While I'm drying this venison, we're gonna use good dry wood over here off the firewood rack. So hang with us. When we get ready to start putting this on, I'll take you in there, and we may have to tie another D-rag around our mouth so we can get in that smokehouse, but we're gonna let everything get rolling, get the temperature up before I start putting the meat in there, because y'all just done got up warm again, and the flies will be took my stuff if I ain't careful. So hang with us. Now, as I feed this fire, I got a little bit of pecan wood that my buddy Tim Stokes gave me the other day. Tim, I really appreciate that. We're gonna get some use out of that pecan wood now. I'm gonna try to get a pretty good warm fire going to start with, because I need a good bed of coals in here. First thing I had to do was rebuild my ash box down there. Luckily, I had some old sheet metal laying around. Made me a brand new tray. This thing sitting out here is gonna ruin, and I hate to say this is the stove that was in my mom and daddy's house as a kid, and I really hate to see it ruined out here. So I have tried to cover it up with some tin and metal and whatnot, but it was sitting out in the woods where I got it from, so we're getting some use out of it. What are you doing? Where's your shoes?
I want to put the meat in the smokehouse.
Oh, come on, man. Now, y'all ain't gonna be able to see no whole lot in here, so you just have to pretend like you know what's going on. I'm just gonna lay this kind of over this. Woo! You can't stay in there long. When I first opened it up, it wasn't smoking as bad. But I throwed a new stick of wood on the fire right before I went in there. That wasn't real bright neither, I don't imagine. And then when I opened that door, it probably pulled a draft. But anyway, you could see a little bit about what I was doing. I'm gonna stand y'all right there. What now?
This.
What is it?
Deer meat.
And you doing what with it?
Cooking it.
You learning fast, ain't you? Y'all, I'm gonna show you what we got in here. The smoke's kind of thin just a little bit. We just got this laid up here on this rack. So it'll take, I don't know, a couple of hours for that to get cooked. Probably 6, 8 hours. I don't know. We'll just keep a check on it. It's been a long time since I've done it like this. The last time me and a buddy of mine did it on a smoker that I got out here on a trailer. And that was some of the best jerky. We wound up eating it all the next day. But we didn't make probably about as much as we make it now. So this ain't a whole lot, but we're gonna let this dry. It may take it till tomorrow. I'm gonna keep a fire going. But when I get a good bed of coals and that's done, then we'll make a video on smoking hides, and I'll start throwing this punky wood in there. And I don't know what this gentleman back here is doing. He's pretend cooking. He found a little pot that I had over here. I'm dipping salt out of that salt box to salt hides down. Don't look like it's gonna stay cold enough for us to put a front shoulder in there. I went ahead and put them in the freezer because it's too hot to stick them in that salt box. I learned that lesson last year. So anyway, Brody, you gonna tell anybody, hey, they've been asking where you been. Barefooted as a duck out here. Speaking of ducks, they done made a mud hole out of that pool. Y'all them baby ducks is getting fat and healthy.
And they figured to swim.
They are.
Yeah. But why they not swimming?
I guess they tired of swimming today, reckon.
They're eating that.
Yeah.
They can't eat that water.
Well, they might be drinking it. Muddy as it is, they might be eating it.
Would you hear me?
Y'all realize the next time I get ready to cut firewood, I gotta clean all this mess up.
But I'm cooking this.
You cooking this?
I'm cooking it.
You gonna be cooking elderberry syrup. You keep running around barefooted out here.
Yeah. I think that's enough damage. I'll come back for the rest.
There's y'all superstar right there. Y'all been asking where he was at. Well, here he is, barefooted, running around out here in between Christmas and New Year's. This is New Year's Eve, and he's running around barefooted out here. Mind you, we had an ice storm last week. Well, it really wasn't an ice storm. Everything around here was froze, though. Boy, he's really hacking that up. You getting any in the bucket?
Here's my deer meat. I got some more deer meat.
Put that in that bucket.
That's my deer meat.
That's wood ashes. Why are you doing that? Did somebody make you do that?
Yeah, Mama.
Mama? Mama ain't even here. Hey, don't stir in it. You're gonna have it everywhere. While I got this going, I'm not gonna do my deer hides right now, but I've got a couple of furs. Now this fox I split because I couldn't get it turned right side out. It had a little bit of hair slippage. I'm gonna hang these up in there in these racks. Now you notice I turned the fur in. Most of the time when you're smoking these, you turn the fur out and you put this, loop it like a bag over you smoke. But doing them this way, I'm gonna try to hang these up and do them this way. So I'll bring it up here where you can kind of see. It ain't smoking too bad right now. This I am gonna lay like that. Now you see I have these strings. I'm gonna loop these up here tail up. And I'm not putting them over my deer meat now, if anybody's wondering. Smoke them hides. Somebody asked why you smoke them. Let me turn you around and let you look and see what I'm doing right here. Okay, you see I got them hanging up right here. The two skunks I've got tailed up, those are the only two that I had tanned using the Murphy's oil soap. And then the two foxes back there. Now obviously I laid this one down back here. It is split open. You can see up under there. Somebody had asked why you smoke the hides. My answer one time was you waterproof them. It waterproofs the fibers in there so that they don't lock back together. It don't make the hide like as a pelt waterproof, like you could wear it as a raincoat and not get wet. It will soak up water. But what it does is it prevents, if the hide is not smoked, if it gets wet, it'll go back to the hard state before, like you just tanned it and it's soft and then it just turns to like a piece of rawhide almost. What it'll do is it'll allow those fibers to stay loose and not lock back together. That hide glue will get hard in there. This, as it's broken limber and flexible, that smoke will encapsulate those fibers and allow that, if it gets wet, to stay limber when it dries. So it does kind of waterproof it in a way for the hide, not as a garment being waterproof. So it's just to ensure that. So, and it also helps with bugs, somewhat keeps bugs from eating it too bad. I'm not gonna leave these in there no great long while. We're gonna smoke them. I'll check the color. And then once they're smoked really good, I'll wash them in Dawn dishwashing liquid and get the smoke off the hair side. So we'll probably we may have to re-break them. I don't know. We'll see how this turns out. A little bit more fire than I like. But we got a little more hot fire trying to dry out the deer jerky. So we're gonna have jerked venison here before long. The reason we doing this way is back the old mountain men and the Native Americans too, back in those days, like the 1830s, whatever, late 1700s, when they killed a deer, they had no way of preserving it. And they didn't preserve it in the ways that even our great-grandparents would have preserved stuff in the late 1800s through the 1900s would have, by salting it and all that stuff. So what the mountain men would have done would have they'd cut everything up in strips, all of the whole deer, back straps, whatever. They didn't just roast over a fire immediately. And they would just hang it over racks, and they would build a crude structure. Sometimes they would cover it with brush, whatever they had. Sometimes they would throw old canvas tarps over it, anything that they had, and make them a little something to capture the smoke. And they would just dry it. Sometimes they even open air dried it. There's a lot of where they just built A-frame racks, hung it open, no cover at all, and just dried that meat. And that was the only way they had of preserving it. So that's kind of the idea behind what I am doing right here. Now, we normally make all our dehydrated jerky on a dehydrator, and it's the same principle. You basically making the same thing. We're just doing it this way. This inhibits a lot of flavor with that smoke and all. And I am using the pecan, being that I have a good bit of it. Over the years, I have not been a huge fan of pecan. We're going to give it another go, see how it turns out. Maybe it's all right this time. Could have been the wood that I had at the time. And this wood has been rained on, so that's a good thing. The reason I'm using this laying out here instead of what's on my rack, because it creates a good bit more smoke with that moisture in it. And we're going to dry this way and make some jerky. And obviously I put the hides in there and smoke them. And it'll probably be dark when I get through doing this. So I'll probably conclude this video tomorrow. It'll dry tonight. It'll usually take with a average around 100 degrees. It'll usually take it 8 to 12 hours depending on the thickness of it. So I'll keep this fire going to probably around midnight. It's New Year's Eve, and I'll let it go out probably about 9:30, 10 o'clock. I'll put the last wood I'm going to put on it, and then I'll go to bed, and I'll just get up and check it in the morning. Probably the same way with the hides. You just have to kind of look at it to go by the color of them. So I'm fixing to go over there. We're going to open the door and take a look in and see what stage we at now. I told y'all all that. I was thinking about old fella up there at Woodland Escape. You know, he says he does a wee bit of history. He tickles me with that. But anyway, that's kind of what pull this hide out. And you can see already this hide is getting a yellow tint to it. But it is not getting the amount of smoke that I would really like. So I may hang it up here with some of these ovens. If I can keep the tail over here off my jerked venison. The jerky is right over the fire. You can see here, it is starting to dry on the edges. It's going to take this longer than I probably anticipated. So, this is the first time that I have made jerky in this smokehouse. So y'all bear with me. I'm learning this as I teach it. Let's put some wood on the fire though. I just enjoy fooling with all this. I need to get my old fire poke right here. I got a piece of a pipe out of get some fire rolling in there. That's old pipe off a trampoline. You see this pecan, it's kind of damp. Good size for what I'm doing. I try to get this in there without getting burnt. I'm thinking about throwing this punky wood in there too. That's some red oak. And it is not all punky. The outside edge is, let's go ahead and throw that in there a minute too. That's warm. Ain't cold enough to have my gloves on out here. Too stupid to go get them. Forgot about it. I get to talking and rambling on, don't pay attention to what I'm doing. I'm so forgetful I could just about plan my own surprise party. Anyway, y'all hang with me. All right, y'all. Confession right here. This is 2 days later. We started this project Saturday, sometime up in the day Saturday. We went through Sunday, and then now it is Monday. The hides are good. I left them in there. I hadn't had just an overly lot of smoke. I'm fixing to pull them out. I'm going to turn the camera around, take you in there, and show you what the jerky looks like right now. Right now I've just got heat. This has still got a lot of red transparency to it. So it needs, some of it, the thicker pieces need to cook a little longer. Some of the thinner stuff, you can see what we're getting here. Very good. It has a really distinct smoky flavor, which original beef jerky would have, or deer jerky. This is jerked venison. Very much edible though. And good. If you like that strong smoky flavor, you'll love this. But I am gonna let it cook further on. Let me bring the camera in here and show y'all what we got. Now you see these hides are still flexible. Sometimes you gotta watch with too much heat. They'll get brittle. You can see all of them are still soft. You see the yellowish in this, well smoked. The fur is not damaged. Okay. Now, right here's what y'all wanted to see. Get my camera set up. See these thicker pieces? I am going to continue to let this cook. These thin pieces like this is ready to come off. And I moved everything down here, kind of piled it up because the heat is coming directly straight up for the most part. And you see I got some pretty long pieces that I've cut. The better you cut this, now I use scraps to make mine. That's a really good piece right there for right now. As this cooks on, you see that is, and it's dark, you can see the color of that. The better quality of meat you cut this out of, the better you'll be with the quality of what you come out with. So I can tell y'all this probably ain't gonna last no real long time. I'm gonna shut the door and let me get my all right, I got all my furs. You can see out here the color, how they got a good dark color to them now. This is probably the best one I did. These foxes I soaked in a tannin solution, probably with this thin-skinned animal a little bit too long, and I got a little bit of hair slippage in. One was right back here on the back of the head. They was somewhere else. And then this one had some slippage, which it's inside out. You're not going to be able to see it. And it was from me soaking it in a tannin solution for too long. So tanning a thin-skinned animal, I would suggest rubbing a tannin solution into it. You've seen me do some foxes where I rubbed the egg yolks directly on it. That is the way I would tan thin stuff that I wanted the hair on. Now with hair off, buckskins, it don't matter. You're not gonna lose hair. It ain't gonna matter. So, but anyway, that is, and we're gonna get some rain today, so I'm gonna get these put in. It's starting to sprinkle now. This is jerked venison and tanning some furs in the smokehouse. Thank y'all for watching Spirit of the Outdoors. Remember, the best way to do things is the way you like to do it. We'll see y'all pretty soon with another one. Y'all have a good one.